We're back in the Customer Center, and to add a new customer, you want to come up here to this button that says New Customer and Job and click the down arrow and choose New Customer. You have to set up a customer first before you can add a job, which is the next one on the list. The first field asks you what is the customer name. Remember that the best way to set up this list is last name, comma, first name. You'll want to set it up that way because it will sort by the first character in that field. The next field that you see says opening balance. This is designed for you to put in the amount of money the customer owed you as of the start date of your company file. Remember, if you do this, it will have the correct starting number, but you won't be able to go back and see the actual invoices you've sent out that create that opening balance. I personally prefer to go and put those invoices in that are still open. Just don't put a number here and create those invoices because then you've doubled your accounts receivable. Let's start down here with the Address Info tab. You can see there are a lot of different fields that you can fill in. You can leave these blank if you want to. A couple that you want to make sure you fill in is if they have a company, go ahead and put that company name here. Also, fill in the full name. The reason you want to do this is because you have the ability in QuickBooks to do mail merges with Microsoft Word. You can also run reports based on different fields that have information. If you don't have any information in these fields, you won't be able to run those reports or pull any data into the mail merge that you do with Microsoft Word. So make sure you fill as much of this in as you think you will be needing. You'll notice there are fields down at the bottom as well, and you can change these to represent anything you'd like. This is another important field right here, especially if you're going to send out correspondence. You'll notice that it brought in the company name and it brought in the full name. You'll need to click here and set this up the way you would like it to look if you were actually sending out correspondence. I would probably do something like attention, and I have my customer name, and then I'd probably go down here and add their address that they'd like their invoices shipped to. Any correspondence at all. If you ship physical items and you want to have a different address to ship those items to, you could type that over here in this section. Also, if you needed to have on the shipping information the same address that you have over here, you could just copy that. Let's go back over to the left and look at the Payment Settings tab. There's a few fields here you might be interested in. If you give your customers account numbers, you have a place to fill that in. Also, if you have different payment terms for your customers, you can fill that in here. If your customer has a preferred delivery method, maybe they like things emailed to them or mailed, you can choose from the list. And also when they pay you, do they have a preferred method that they like to pay you with? Do they like to use their Visa card often? And this is really just for you to know. If you have a customer that asks you to keep their credit card number on file and then you charge it whenever you send them something, you have a place to keep all of that information in here. I personally would not keep it in here because you as a business are responsible if someone gets this information and uses it nefariously. The other thing you have the ability to do at the top right is put in a credit limit. If you give your customer, for example, a $2,000 credit limit, QuickBooks knows how much the customer owes you. If you're creating an invoice and it's going to exceed that amount, it's going to pop up and let you know that they've exceeded their credit limit, but it'll still let you create that invoice anyway. You can also set up different price levels. What this means is, let's say all of your commercial customers get a 10% discount, you can go and set that up. What you would do is you would click on Add New. You would create a name for your price level. You might call it commercial. They already have one on the list there. And then you can say that that price is a fixed percentage or per item. And then you can say their price should decrease by 10%, for example. And then when you click OK, it would end up on the list like you see here. QuickBooks would automatically assign that discount when you use this customer name. Also, if you want to let your customers pay you online, then you can actually check either one of these, and you have to go through and set this up with Intuit. The customer could go ahead and click on that invoice you sent, and then you would get paid right away. Let's look at the sales tax settings on the left. If you charge sales tax to your customers, here's where you can say this customer is taxable or not, and which sales tax item do they get charged. We're going to look at sales tax in a later section, but this would be the main tax that they get charged. And if they have a resale number, you can set that up here as well. The next tab over says additional info. Here you have the ability to set up different types of customers. In the exercise, you can see they have commercial and residential. And really this is just more for reporting purposes. If you have sales reps in your organization, you can set them up. And then also on the right, you have these custom fields. They've set up a few just to show you the types of fields that you can create. But if there's another one you want to create, click on Define Fields. Just click in the next field down, and you can go ahead and put in any label that you want. You can specify if this should be used for customers, vendors, and/or employees, and then click OK. And if it gives you a little information like this, just go ahead and click OK past that. This one is just basically saying that you've activated some of the custom fields in this list. And there you'll see the new field I just created, date of birth. The last tab has to do with job info. This is a customer. You really wouldn't have any job info for a customer, but once you get a job set up, then you can put in some of this information. Also notice down here, if the customer happens to be inactive, meaning that you've used them in the past, but you want to take them off of the active customer list for now, you could check the box. I'm going to click OK, and now you'll see your new customer in the list. If QuickBooks puts it at the top of the list like this, just click on the word name at the top, and that will resort it, and it will be alphabetical in your list. Let's add a job for our new customer, Tom Allen. Make sure you're clicked on the customer, come back up to New Customer and Job, and Add Job. Let's call this one a kitchen remodel. You really don't have to fill in any other information unless it's different. You might have some job information you want to fill out. The type of information that's here would be a job type. Maybe you have a job status, it's pending, awarded, it's closed, a start and a projected end date, and then later you can fill in the actual end date when it's done. I'm going to click OK. And now look how kitchen remodel looks like it's indented under my customer. That's a job for that customer. Remember that all businesses don't use the job feature, and if you don't use that, that's certainly okay, but this is a great way to track your jobs individually from the actual customers. Now that we have our customers and jobs set up, let's go ahead and move over to the next video, and I'll show you how to set up groups of customers.